Gentleman from California, Mr. Takano.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Secretary, you are the nation's top health official, and I want to talk to you today about the president's mental health. On April 5th at 8 o'clock in the morning of Easter Sunday, President Trump posted this statement on social media. Tuesday will be Power Plant Day and Bridge Day, all wrapped in one in Iran. There will be nothing like it. Open the fucking strait, you crazy bastards, or you'll be living in hell. Just watch. Praise be to Allah, President Donald J. Trump. An American president used the F word in a Sunday morning message that was seen by millions of people. Mr. Secretary, does this raise concerns for you about the president's mental health?
The president is a bargainer, and he knows how to make good deals.
Mr. Secretary, does this raise questions about the president's mental health to you?
Here's what I would say, that for 2 generations, every American president...
Mr. Secretary, you're being non-responsive. I'm reclaiming my time, Mr. Secretary. I gather the answer. It does not raise concerns for you. 2 days later, on April 7th, President Trump put out a statement that said, quote, "A whole civilization will die tonight, never to be brought back again. I don't want that to happen, but it probably will," end quote. Mr. Secretary, the Commander-in-Chief of the United States military is calling for the eradication of an entire civilization. And 5 days later, the president started posting on Truth Social at 9 p.m. at night, continuing until 5 a.m. the next morning, and included an unhinged attack on Pope Leo, claiming Pope Leo was weak on crime. And then, later that day, the next day, President Trump posted this image of himself as Jesus Christ. Mr. Secretary, people across the country and around the world were deeply offended by this blasphemous image. Millions of Americans are questioning this president's mental fitness, his emotional stability, and whether he can carry out the duties of his office. Do you share their concerns about his mental health?
I want to call your attention to the last line of that.
Mr. Secretary, my question was, do you share their concerns about his mental health?
I want to call your attention.
Mr. Secretary, you're not being responsive. Apparently not reclaiming my time, Mr. Secretary. Mr. Secretary, reclaiming my time. Mr. Chairman, direct the witness. It's my time, Mr. Secretary. You're not being responsive, and apparently you don't share their concerns. We are a nation at war, Mr. Secretary. We need a commander-in-chief that we know has full command of his mental faculties and is emotionally stable as he sends uniformed American men and women into harm's way. Millions of Americans are now wondering if this president is delusional and thinks he is Jesus Christ. Mr. Secretary, given everything that I've shown you today, will you insist that President Trump undergo an assessment of his mental fitness and his emotional stability?
Absolutely not.
Thank you, Mr. Secretary. Reclaiming my time so absolutely not. I remind you that under the 25th Amendment, you have a duty to remove a president who is physically or mentally unable to discharge his responsibilities under the Constitution. It's your duty. You took an oath to the Constitution, not to President Trump. Mr. Secretary, should President Trump fail a mental fitness test or an evaluation about his mental stability or emotional stability, would you vote to invoke the 25th Amendment?
There hasn't been a president who's more...
Mr. Secretary, my question is, would you vote to invoke the 25th Amendment? Mr. Secretary, reclaiming my time. It's my question, Mr. Secretary. Would you invoke the 24th Amendment if he were to fail an assessment of his mental stability or emotional stability?
As I said, President Trump is the most...
Apparently not, Mr. Secretary. Apparently not. Mr. Secretary, we can all see that this president is mentally unstable, emotionally unstable, and is unfit to lead this country. You, as the nation's top health official, have a particular role here. And you are choosing your loyalty to Donald Trump over your loyalty to the Constitution and keeping the faith with the American people. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I yield back.
Well, you need the fundraising video.
Mr. Chairman,
asking questions.
The gentleman's time has
Thank you.
expired and been yielded, and I can ask the second grade classes to turn in again at this point. I'd hesitate to say something about the 25th Amendment with the last president. There was no concern there from the other side, but I won't say that. So now I recognize the gentleman from Georgia, Mr. Allen, for his 5 minutes.
Thank you, Chair Walberg, for holding this important hearing, and I thank Secretary Kennedy for testifying. Sir, I'll yield time to you. Would you like to answer the gentleman's question?
Well, I don't really care to, but you know what, because I'm not here to discuss foreign policy, but every Democrat in this chamber has promised for generations that we weren't going to let Iran get a nuclear weapon. It kept getting kicked down the road. President Trump is cleaning up messes that other people made, and he's doing it in a way he's the best business bargainer that we've ever had in the presidency. He knows how to make deals. He's made the best deals for this country through tariffs, all the things he's engaged in. He's a genius at it. Let him do his work. Let him be president. Give him your support, and let's support this country and our troops and try to move forward as a nation. He's trying to fix the problems that you made.
Thank you, Mr. Secretary. For years, getting back to the subject we're talking about here today, is healthcare, and we got a mess there too, created by obviously the Affordable Care Act, and we're spending $5 trillion on healthcare, and we get the worst outcomes. I mean, that's what we should be concerned about here today. But for years, pharmacy benefit managers have benefited from opaque pricing tactics while healthcare costs continue to soar. By legislation, the PBM Kickback Prohibition Act would prohibit PBMs from paying consultant and brokers who give trusted advice to employers and group health plan fiduciaries from taking compensation for steering businesses to PBMs. What steps can HHS take to curb PBM's abusive practices, and how might Congress be able to assist in this effort?
Well, it's one of the I would say perverse features of the healthcare system that PBMs who add nothing are getting 40% of the profits from drugs, and they're driving up costs everywhere. President Trump has us laser focused on fixing the problem, and I want to thank Congress for passing the recent bill that allows us to now go and negotiate with the PBMs. We were already doing that. I want to commend Cigna and David Cordani for actually developing a model that is much more rational, and that gets rid of the hidden kickbacks, that delinks the cost of the list price of medicines from the compensations of the PBMs. The PBM's compensation was increased by getting you to buy the most expensive. There's supposed to be a neutral arbiter on your side. They made money if you bought the most expensive form of that medication. So they were steering Americans always toward the most expensive one, and that's one of the things that drove up healthcare.
Well, we're losing pharmacies every day in rural America.
And we're getting
this stuff's
vertical
gotta stop.
integration that is destroying our healthcare system.
And then let's talk about healthcare affordability. Affordability is a big subject today, and obviously, we spend twice what any other nation spends on healthcare with worse outcomes. I'm talking about American workers and their families in ERISA specifically, which is where we cover most of the lives. What do you believe is the underlying causes of high health care costs? And would you please discuss how much control employers who provide health benefits for their workers have over these costs?
Well, the biggest driver of healthcare costs is the chronic disease epidemic. So when my uncle was president, we spent zero on chronic disease in this country, zero. Today, we're spending 48% out of every dollar paid, if you include Social Security health expenditures in the military. 48 cents out of every dollar the taxpayer gives to the federal government goes to healthcare, and 90% of that is chronic disease. The only way that we can solve this problem is through chronic disease. Another driver is high drug costs. We were paying the highest, we were paying 2, 3, 5, 10, 15 times for the exact same drug made in a plant in New Jersey. And in London, for example, Ozempic in this country, the list price when I came in was $1,300. In London, you could get it in any pharmacy for $88. And that was the rule. We are now fixed MFN. We're going to be paying the lowest cost in the world. Another driver is the lack of transparency. There is no market. If you go buy an automobile and the guy who's selling it to you said, I'm not going to tell you the price till after you buy it.
Right.
You'd think he was crazy.
I'm sorry I'm out of time, but I would like
Fixing that too.
Yeah, I'd like to meet with you on some solutions that we're talking about, particularly to privatize ERISA and give it a
Gentleman's time has expired, and I'm sure the meeting can take place.